Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video, I will show you how to send data from an iOS app to WatchOS app and vice versa in Expo React Native for iOS. So let's get started. One thing which I want to make it clear, the WatchOS app will be completely using native iOS code, which is Swift and Swift UI. We can't use Expo React Native for it, but iOS app will start with Expo React Native, but the main logic will be written in native code because there is no library as such, at least at the time of me recording, which will help us to send data from iOS to WatchOS with a third-party library. So we need to write some native code for it. So yeah, let's get started. One more thing which I want to clarify before we start writing code is if you are going to test this on a real device like a real iOS device and real WatchOS device, then you will have to pair those with each other, and you can refer this documentation on how to pair your Apple Watch with iPhone. In my case, I will be using simulator, so I don't need to perform this step. So yeah, be careful if you are trying to test this on a real device. Right, so first we need to go to this particular URL to create an Expo React Native project. Now there are different templates for creating this projects. We will be using this blank TypeScript template. So I will be just copying this particular like command to create Expo React Native project using this blank TypeScript template. The advantage is that it has very less boilerplate code, and it also has TypeScript support. That's why I'm using it. Now we need to give our app some name, so it will ask us for an app name. I'll just give it as my app. You can name it whatever you feel like. So let it do its thing. In the next step which we need to follow is we'll just have to go to this particular URL and just open it in a new tab. So first we need to go to the Android device, go to select development build. I have disabled ES because we will be building it locally. Then select macOS. I have already installed this command. I have already installed this. I have already installed this. I have already installed Android Studio, and I have already done all the required setup which is necessary for which is mentioned in the documentation. Okay, then I have already set this Android home path as well, and I've also set this z shell or environment variables inside our shell. Then we need to run this particular command, so I'll just copy it, and here we'll have to cd to our app. So our app has finished installing. I'll run this command. So let's just wait for this to finish. In the meantime, what we can do is we'll just scroll down and copy this command as well. So this will basically help us to create the Android folder for us. So this will actually create the native Android code which is necessary. So I'll just copy this command and paste it. Again, this will run some things and it will create the Android folder for us, so don't worry too much about it. Okay, so that's it for the Android part. Then you will have to go to the iOS device part. Again, select development build. Here you can disable ES. I have already installed Xcode as well. I have already installed Xcode command line tools as well. I have already installed Watchman. We have already ran this command, so we don't need to run it again. If you want, you can run it. And then we need to run this particular command, so I'll just copy this. So here you can see like before I run this particular command, here you can see for that Android command which we ran, I get this error. Now this is not really an error. It is because I don't have an Android emulator installed and I have not connected my real Android device. That's why it is throwing me this error. It's not really an error. In your case, it might be might have selected the Android emulator whichever you have installed, or a real device if you have connected it to your laptop. But yeah, we don't need to run it again. You can just do Control C to dismiss this because we haven't written any code, so no point in running it again. Same thing will happen for iOS as well, but for iOS I have a simulator installed. Any which ways, we are not going to test it on an emulator or a simulator. I'll test it on a real device. Then I'll just paste this command. Now this will take a little bit of time to run because it needs to do all the CocoaPod installation as well. So let it do its thing. In the meantime, what I want to show it to you is this particular docs. So this will help us to create the native modules for us, in which we will be writing all the required necessary code. So here is the this is how we add a new module, but we'll need to wait for this iOS command to finish. So let it finish, then I'll come back and show the next steps to you. Okay, so here you can see it is asking me to run it on a simulator. I won't run it. I'll just press Ctrl C. Then like I mentioned, we need to copy this command and paste it over here. Now this will ask us few questions like what should be our module name and all that stuff. I'll keep everything as default and just press enter, 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 and let it do its thing. Now given that we have installed this particular module for iOS, we again need to run this pod installation command for our module as well. So just go this and just paste this command as well. Again, now let it do its thing. This is just a cheat sheet which I have created, so don't get too confused. Again, this will take a bit of time, so let it do its thing. Here you can see it is installing that module. So what I will do now is I'll just remove this. Okay, I'll just open our project. So I'll just go, so here is my project. Now what I'll do is I will write down all the necessary code, come back and then explain it to you and show you guys the output as well. Okay, so the next thing which we have to do is we'll have to go to our app, go to iOS and double click on this .exe workspace. It will automatically open it for you in Xcode. So double click on this. As you can see, it has already opened for me in Xcode. Now first we need to create a simulator which is already paired with an WatchOS device or a WatchOS simulator. So what we can do is just click on this at the top, select manage run destination, go to simulators. As you can see, I don't have a simulator. I have just deleted all the simulators which I had. Then click on this plus button, select whatever device you want. So I will just select the default one. I'll select the default OS version, and most important thing is you have to click on this paired Apple Watch. If you have lots of simulators already present in place, make sure you give it a simulator name as well, just so that you avoid confusion. Then click on next. Okay, I think it has hanged. Let's just wait. Okay, and okay, I think it already clicked on next. I'll just delete this just to show it to you one more time. Yeah, my Mac OS got hanged, sorry about this. Just you'll have to click on the plus button, select whatever device you want, select important thing is click on this check this checkbox of paired Apple Watch, click on next, and again here you can select whatever Apple Watch you want. I'm just using the default one which is been suggested, and again if you want to give it some different name you can do that, and then just click on create as well. Okay, now we'll have to run our application on this simulator and this Apple Watch only because they are paired. If you try to run it on separate iPhone, iOS device or an iOS simulator which is not paired with an Apple Watch, the project will never succeed. Then you just have to go to file, new, target, and inside here you will have to select WatchOS. Here you will have to select app. Here you can see WatchOS level 0.2 is not installed, so you could get this error as well. We'll install it in just a second. Just select app, click next. Here you can give it whatever name you feel like. I'm just giving it as my watch app, and here you will have to select watch app for existing iOS app. And okay, I think we'll have to install that first because we need this particular, because it is not showing my app, that's why, iOS app, that's why. So I'll just select this get option. Okay, let it install. I think this will take a bit of time. So once this is installed successfully, then I'll come back and show you the next steps. Alright guys, so as you can see, the WatchOS simulator was successfully installed for me. So I'll just dismiss this. I'll just select app over here inside WatchOS target. I'll click on next, and here again I'm not sure, it should have shown us our app, but anyways let's just go with it. So I've just named my project as my watch app. You can give it some proper name, and here you will have to select watch app for existing iOS app, and here I'll just click on finish. And here you will have to click on activate. So here you can see that it has created the WatchOS app for us. So now what I'll do is I will write down all the necessary code. I'll come back and explain it to you. Then let's see whether this all things works or not. So I have written down all the code. Let's go through it. So first you will have to go to modules, my module, and here you will have to go to my module.ts. And for iOS we have created one method called send data, which will take some value of type string, and the return type is void. This method will actually return something as well, but we are using something called event handler. So first, all you need to do is define this method. These three things are present by default. I have not changed anything. I have only defined this one. Then here inside my module.type.ts, here you can see this is the event handler which is present by default. And to send data from iOS to React Native side, we will be making use of this value string. Okay, which is again present by default. Hopefully the Expo guys don't remove this. So yeah, I'm not added anything else in this particular file. Then you will have to go to iOS, my module.swift. Firstly, you will have to import watch connectivity. You should see this particular file. We'll come back to this class, sorry, not file, this class. We'll come back to this in a bit, but first you have to define this particular class, name as watch session delegate, which extends wc session delegate. Here is our module, which again, this is the class name, right? If in case if it is your different name for you, you will have to name it differently. And here we just initialize it inside it. Then here we override the session method which comes from w session delegate. And here we just like check the activation state. If it is active, then we just send this particular event watch app is installed. I like from my testing, I noticed that this event is never triggered. Maybe this is basically a simulator issue, but anyways, this is not really important for us. And there are a few other methods as well. Session did become active, session did become active, so did become inactive and active, deactivate. So if you want to use this, you can use that as well. I have just overridden, I'm not really using it. And there is this particular method as well. Again, this is from this w session delegate. So on the main actor, again, whatever data we get it, we just extract the text out of it and send it back to from a native iOS side to React Native side. And we add this reply handler as well as just saying it to WatchOS that okay, we have received the data. Instead of this be excellent to each other, you can send whatever response you feel like. Here I have just given a sample response. So here we get the data from WatchOS to iOS, and we send it back from iOS to React Native side with the help of this send event. And this reply handler basically sends this data from native iOS to WatchOS saying that we have received the data. Then here we come to our module. We have this particular class, and inside this on create method, so I have written this inside this module definition. You should be able to see this particular thing. So inside this module definition, we just override this on create method, and here we just do if w session dot is supported. Then we get that a particular session, then we initialize it, we set the delegate as well and activate that session. Now this all things were present by default. I have not done anything this as well. Then here is our method of send data, which we have defined it inside our TypeScript file. So we get the value what we are sending it from React Native side, and then we convert it to something like this, like a dictionary, and send this message. So this will help us to send data from iOS to WatchOS. So here you can see I have defined this method. So again, we get hold of our WC session, and if check if session is reachable. If yes, then we just call this send message method. And here again, once the response once we have sent the message to WatchOS will send a response back, okay, the data was successful. And whatever response we get from WatchOS, we send it back to React Native side with the help of this. Now coming to WatchOS, again, make sure you open Xcode. For that, you can just go to your watch app. Firstly, you will have to create this Swift file. Now to create this Swift file, just right click new empty file, and name it as connectivity.swift. I have already created it, so I will just delete this untitled file. I don't need this, so I'll just move to thrash. You will have to name it as connectivity, and make sure the target membership is proper. It should be your watch app over here. If you're not able to see this, click on this plus button and make sure it is watch app. You don't need this inside your iOS app. Then here again, it is more or less the same code which I have shown you just now. So import watch connectivity. Here is our connectivity class which extends wc session delegate. This observable object is for this published annotation which we are using from Swift UI. Then here we just do w session dot is supported, then just activate the session. Then we are overriding this method. Again, I'm not really using this. Then this is for sending the message to iOS. So if it is reachable, then whatever data we want to send, we can send that response back to we get the response and just assign it to our receive text. Okay, and this is for once we receive the message, we just get it and just receive the text and send a reply back to iOS side. Okay, like be excellent to each other, but maybe instead of be excellent to each other, maybe you can send a proper message like, okay, WatchOS has received this message. So you can change this to whatever you feel like. And the next thing you have to do is, so yeah, that's it on this particular file. Next you will have to go to content view, and here we just have to initialize connectivity class. And here you can see I have this send message method. So this is what I'm sending it back to iOS. And whenever this method is called, we just do connectivity dot send message, pass our data. So here this is the text which will actually display the message which we get from iOS, and this is the button for sending message from watchOS to iOS. So yeah, that's it. Now let's see how to run this. Alright guys, now coming back to how to run this application. So for to run your iOS application, you can just run this, use this yarn iOS, or there is this expo command as well, npx expo run iOS device, something like that. I typically use yarn iOS. So this will run your iOS application. So that's pretty simple. It will open your simulator, but make sure it opens the right simulator which we have paired it with Apple Watch. So yeah, I will run it later on because it takes a lot of time and memory. That's why I'm not running it while recording this video. And to run the iOS watchOS application, what you will have to do is, you will here open Xcode. So you just have to go to your application. In case if you don't know how to open it inside Xcode, just go to Expo, whatever is your application name, go to iOS and double click on this XC workspace if you have closed it by any chance. And here you will have to select, you will see this too, you will have to select your watch app. And here make sure you have selected the right Apple Watch which we have paired with your iOS device, and then just click on this run button over here, and it will compile. It will take a bit of time, and finally it should open your application in iOS as well, on watchOS as well, sorry. Now let's see the output. Alright guys, so here is the output. Now all you I have this button on watchOS, and this is my iOS application. I'll click on this send data button, and here you can see I was able to send this data. Here is the data from iOS, that's what we were sending, right? So if you go, here is the data from iOS, that's what we were sending. And this is just a response from watchOS saying that okay, I have received the data from iOS. So I have just, we were just hard coding this be excellent to each other, right? Now I will send data from watchOS as well. I'll just click on this button, and here you can see hello from the watch. We are getting it on the iOS side, and the iOS then replies by saying that be excellent to each other. So hopefully you got the point. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.